All right, we're live. Good evening, everybody. Aloha. This is episode 25. We are 25 episodes old. I tried to come up with a clever name for tonight's episode. That's what I called it. We're a quarter of the way to 100. Or a quarter of the way to 100. But thanks for joining us tonight. This is EdTech Mixed Plate, and this is episode 25. And we have a couple great EdTech resources to share with you guys tonight, but let's get through some logistics and introductions. So I'm Mike Fricano. I am. You can tweet me at EdTechNocation, and I'm a tech integration specialist at Iolani School in Hawaii. And Michelle, want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Michelle Colte, and I'm a librarian at Haleiakula Elementary School.
And Rachel, working so hard.
Yeah, I'm tapping buttons. Hi, I'm Rachel Armstrong. I'm a tech coordinator at Haleiakula Elementary School.
All right. And we have one more. She may be joining us later. We'll have to wait and see. But for now, it's just the three of us. Before we get to the sharing, just some logistics to point out. So if you guys take a look at my lower thirds, don't forget to check out our website. There's the link. It's bit.ly/edtechmixplate. We have all of our YouTube recordings and our show notes archived at our website, as well as a Google form that we encourage you to fill out to join our mailing list and to ask questions of us. And what else do we have there? And some information about ourselves. So check out our website, bit.ly/edtechmixplate. And tonight's show notes are located here at bit.ly/mixedplate25. So that is the link for our show notes tonight, where we have all of the information regarding what we're going to share with you guys today, and some extra information that we'll talk about a little later. So feel free to check that out while we share tonight. Okay, and I'll keep that up for a little while, so you guys can type that into your browsers if you need to. Also, for you live viewers out there, the Q&A app is active. So if you look in the top right corner of your video screens, you'll see a little waffle icon. You can click on that to access the Q&A app. So feel free to ask questions during the episode tonight, and give us your feedback. If you have any resources that you would like to share, feel free to do that in the Q&A app, and we'll try to monitor that as often as possible. And the Showcase app is also active for our viewers out there. So we've included some links from the things that we're going to share with you tonight, so that gives you easy access to those resources. And then I don't know how this is going to work, but for you live viewers, if you have access to the Applause app, it allows you to applaud us, or I'm assuming boo us, depending on what we're sharing with you guys tonight. So feel free to use that. I don't know how it works or how we are informed of your applause, but we'll see how that works. So if you guys are out there live, feel free to applaud us right now, and we'll see how that works for us. Okay, and continue to applaud us as we talk tonight. Okay, so just a couple of resources out there for our live viewers. Feel free to use those and participate in the discussion today. Okay, all right. So I think we got 2 apps to share, and Rachel has an Edu Rockstar to share with you all as well. So I think I'm going to start off tonight with an iPad app called ClassKick. So I'm going to do some screen sharing here. And I think I'm going to try to set up my iPad with Air Server. I'll see if this works. Sometimes Air Server is kind of tricky. But let me get this set up for you guys. But while I get this set up, I can kind of talk about Air Server. ClassKick. So I happened upon ClassKick when a teacher was asking my department about it 2 weeks ago. He wanted to use the app, and so we kind of had to take a look at it and vet it and see if it would be possible, if it would work on our network, and if he'd be able to use it in his classroom. And we looked into it, and it's a pretty cool app. Have either of you two explored this app before? Have you heard of it?
No.
I thought you had I thought we'd done this on, you'd presented it one time on EdTech.
No, not ClassKick.
No, oh, I thought you were talking about Air Server, sorry.
Oh, no, yeah, no.
No, I haven't tried ClassKick either, sorry.
ClassKick. No, it's okay. Let's see here. But it's a really cool app for teachers and students. It has to be kind of a one-to-one iPad situation so you can take advantage of it the most. If you have a handful of iPads, then you could do some group collaboration work with the app. But for the most part, it works really well in a one-to-one iPad situation. Air Server. Why are you so difficult? Hold on.
So,
Okay.
Mike, you said that a couple times. That was kind of. Oh, sorry.
What's that? Sorry.
Just that. I'll wait until you share, and then I'll ask my question.
Okay. I'm gonna jump in and share. Okay, so here we go. Screen share. All right, you guys see my iPad screen?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. So this is the intro to ClassKick. So when you get in, you can either log in as a teacher. You have to create a teacher account, or students can access your ClassKick class with a class code. I'm going to jump in as a teacher. Okay, so both the teacher and the students have to have ClassKick installed on their iPads. And this is the teacher view. But the teacher sets up class rosters, as you can see here in the rosters tab. And once students join your class roster via the code, which you can see there on the right side of the red rectangle. So if the students type in that code, they'll become part of this class roster here. And then as a teacher, I can add these rosters to my assignments. And I have 2 assignments on the left side here. I'm going to jump to my new assignment. Okay, and as you can see, I have multiple rosters. So you can have multiple classes of students participating in one assignment in ClassKick. And as the teacher, I set up these slides with some kind of assignment, whether it's solving a math problem, answering a question, asking them to do something that's involved in whatever we're learning in class. So I can tap on these slides down here, and there's drawing tools. You have a handful of colors. So I could draw out a problem. You can also take pictures. You can either import from the camera roll or snap a photo and put it in there. One feature I really like is you can record an audio recording into the slide. So not only can you write, but you can speak. You can ask them a question verbally, which is really cool, or give them some extra information. You can also insert links to outside sources, and then students would be able to click on that link on the slide. So as a teacher, I set up these slides, I create them, and then when the students log in with the class code, they'll see these slides, and on their end, they can annotate over the slides and answer the questions and insert their own media, like pictures and things like that. But the one really cool thing is, as students are working, I can view student work in real time. So those students that are a part of my assignment, I can watch them work on their assignment slides in real time as they're working on it. And then I can access the slide that they're working on, and I can give them feedback as they work. So I can jump into Jaco's slide here as he's working on it, and I can provide him feedback. You can customize these with your own words and your own stickers. And there's also this built-in point system, so you can assign a certain number of points, I think up to 5 points, depending on the positive feedback. So I can give them feedback. And yeah, so you can give them instant feedback as they're working, which is really cool. The other thing I like, and I can't really demonstrate it here, but in the student view, students can raise their hand in quotation marks. So they can raise their hand in the app, and they can either ask for help or ask for feedback. And if you look next to Jaco's slide there, he has a gray hand with a 0. So if Jaco were to raise his hand on that slide, that number would increase to 1. And then I know that that student needs help on that slide, and I can jump right to that slide, and I can annotate over his work and give him audio or written feedback instantly, and then he'll get it on his end. So that's the gist of ClassKick. I thought it's a pretty, I mean, it's got a couple of glitches. It's a pretty new app. But for the most part, it works out pretty well. Right now, you can't, a couple of things I noticed is you can't insert text boxes. But when I emailed the app developer, he responded pretty quickly and said that's coming in the next update within a couple of weeks. So I really appreciated the quick response turnaround from one of the co-founders of the app. But that is ClassKick in a nutshell. Do you guys have any questions?
Yeah, I do. But hey, Peggy's joining us from Arizona, and also she and then Michael Stevens have questions. So I don't know, Mike, if you want to open the question app so you can click on it.
Yeah.
And while you're doing that, I had a quick question too, because you started out by saying this is really great for a one-to-one environment. I just wondered if you thought, since you can have multiple classes of students log in, do you think it would even work in a lab situation where just different classes log in with different codes?
Yeah. So if you have a card of iPads, then ClassKick can install. Because on the student's end, it doesn't save anything to their iPad. It's all stored in ClassKick servers, and the students just they access the assignment via their class code. So once they're done, they just back out of the ClassKick app, and then it'll go back into the login screen, and another student can jump in. So that's really.
Yeah, that sounds like it would work well.
Yeah. Who asked that? That was.
Well, that was my question, but actually, Peggy, and are you able to click into the Q&A app, or do you want me to just ask the question?
Well, I see Peggy here. She's asking about, can you give students audio feedback as well as text? I'm highlighting that one. I'm in a student slide right now, and you can't. The only two things that a teacher can do is they can annotate over a student's work using the pen, and they can provide feedback via this quick feedback option in the corner. So there's no audio feedback, and there's no text feedback. But I'm sure if I send that to the app developer, he'll have a positive response. It's a free app right now, and I think their mission is to keep it free as long as they have a good user base. And he was very open to receiving feedback and ways to improve the app. So it was really cool to get his feedback on that, and to know that that's something that they're putting in the top of their priority list, or something that's coming out next time around. So having the ability to give audio feedback to students as well as text would make this a much more powerful app, I definitely think. But right now you can't do that. And let's see, Michael Stevens, he works with me at Iolani. Thanks for joining us, Michael. He's our physics teacher, I believe. And he's asking, does it work with personal devices like iOS, Android phones? It's an Apple app. It's for the iPad. Let me double check really quick and see if it works on the iPhone. I mean, it takes advantage of the entire screen space, so I don't think it would work with the iPhone too. Yeah, it's only compatible with the iPad. So it's not an app that you could use on your iPhone, unfortunately. Plus, I don't know if, because the screen's so small on an iPhone, it would be very difficult to really annotate clearly on that. That's why it's a much better app for the iPad.
And hey, Mike, you said that you can access the camera roll, and I apologize, I've forgotten now if you said that students can bring photos into their workspace. Could they do that?
You know, I can't recall, because I'm not able to get into a student view right now. I think they're only able to annotate with the pen right now. I don't think they can insert their own pictures. These are pictures that I put on this page here, this slide.
As part of the assignment, you put the picture on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And you said that teachers can leave audio comments, but can students leave audio comments?
No, students can't leave audio comments either. Yeah. But again, those would be some great That would be some great feedback for the app developers, I think. So I think I'm gonna pass that on to the guy that I was in contact with. Yeah. But yeah, so I thought this was a pretty, I mean, for what it does, it's pretty cool. I love the instant feedback. I love the ability for the teacher to see students in real time as
Yeah.
they're working. I like the ability, I like the option for students to raise their hand in the app, so you know who needs help and you know, who's ready for feedback. And there's also a feature in there where students can allow other students to help them. So a student can raise their hand and another student can visit their slide and provide them with feedback and help. So I thought that was a pretty cool feature too. So it allows for that collaboration and allows for students to help each other, not just you know, wait on the teacher's help.
I think that does sound really cool. Is that something that a teacher can turn on or off depending on the type of assignment?
Yeah, right now I think the way it works is when a student raises his hand and another student joins to help, they don't know who's helping, so it's kind of anonymous. But I think when I gave the app developer feedback on that, he said that they're working on like a toggle switch for the teacher to turn that feature on and off, and to also either allow or disallow students to know who's helping each other. So that was
Yeah,
kind of,
I think that's kind of neat because I like the anonymity, but at the same time, to be able to work with certain students in groups would be kind of neat too.
yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that is ClassKick. And in our show notes, there's a link to the website that has some demo videos, and there's a link to the directly to the App Store where you can install it. And again, it's only for the iPad right now. It's not on Android, unfortunately. But maybe that's something they'll work on too. All right. Okay, who's up next? Who wants to go next? Shall we do another app, or shall we do an edgy rock star?
I can share quick, but I'm not sharing fancy like you. I didn't hook up my AirPlay.
All right, go for it.
Okay, so this is an app that we just started trying at our school, actually this past week. And what's been really exciting is how the teachers have jumped on board with it. So this isn't a new app. I know plenty of people have used it before. This is Erasma, and what Erasma lets you do is, you know, take a picture of something that will be your trigger, and then when a student or another teacher or a parent comes with their either Android or Apple device, either phones or tablets, they can scan over that trigger and a video pops up. And what they say, I'm going back to the show notes just really quick, their tagline is that Erasma is an augmented reality app that changes the way you see and interact with the world. And I think that that's really true. As I talked to the different teachers about it, I could see the wheels turning in their brain. And so what I just demonstrated for them were some really quick how-to videos. And again, sorry, I don't have videos to show you. But actually, let me just show you really fast, and I'll just take screen share off then. But Erin Klein, who I think she made this a while ago, this is a PDF at Teachers Pay Teachers that's free to download. You just have to log into Teachers Pay Teachers. And she walks you through step-by-step how to make an augmented reality video. And she talks to you about setting up your channel where you would store all of your videos, and then also how you would instruct parents to or students to access those channels. So that's kind of a neat thing. But just really quick, let me share some ideas of ways that we thought we were going to use it. And one thing that I shared with teachers was that, you know, I struggle as a parent helping my daughter with the new math because that's not the way I learned it. And my daughter always says, that's not the way we're supposed to do it. So if the teacher created an augmented reality video that was triggered by the worksheet that came home, or even just a little sticky note that says, homework tonight, scan here, you know, something like that, I could scan it with my phone and I could see a really quick video from the teacher how to do this homework for tonight's assignment. And suddenly it's like I'm connected with the teacher, and suddenly it's like she's instructing the whole class of 28 parents. And I think that that's a neat feature right there. The other thing we talked about at our school is our second graders are researching habitats and animals, and they're going to create a mural that is a zoo, and they're going to plan out, where they put their animals and everything on the zoo. But when a parent or another student, another class, or a teacher comes along and scans that child's animal, a video will pop out of the child giving information, as if he or she is the, the trainer or the vet or the zookeeper for that animal exhibit. So we're trying to build in some creativity and critical thinking and different things, but we think it's a great way to make things interactive. Then what happened is a teacher came to me on Friday and said, wait a minute, couldn't I use this for my math learning center? So when I'm working with other students, my different groups could go there and they could scan and see how to play this game or how to do this activity. And I thought that was great. She was already thinking that way. The mentor-teacher coordinator was thinking of ways she could use it with her mentor teacher. And anyway, I think it just has a lot of possibilities. I noticed many librarians are using it for book trailers. And I'm not sure, though, about kids actually creating accounts. I think that I'd have them do it, within my class account. But anyway, that's Erasma.
So in order for I've seen Erasma before, but in order for students to use, or in order for anyone to use Erasma, they have to create an Erasma account. Is that how it works?
No, actually, I kind of misspoke at the end. Sorry. All they have to do is they just need to follow your channel. So I created one for my library, and I would just invite the students either on the iTouches or the iPads or whatever we use that day to search for the Halikula Library channel. And then that way, whatever, if they trigger the things that I've used to create the videos, then they can access the videos. So for instance, I found some book trailers for books that are on our Nene list, the State Award for Hawaii. And other librarians around the country have made these videos, but if I put them out in the library and I follow their channel, then my students can come along and they can watch those book trailers.
Oh,
so that's kind of a neat thing.
That's neat.
Yeah.
It's a great
And
idea.
there's a really great app that's, I think, kind of new. I saw it at ISTE this summer. I think it's called TouchCast. And that's another way to create augmented reality videos, a little bit different, and I'm not so good with that one, but actually our principal is trying that out, so maybe I can put some things in the show notes later for that.
Yeah, definitely. Cool, thanks for sharing that. So I haven't had a chance to explore that app, but I was considering trying it out for a middle school teacher at my school who's going to have his students create artifacts based on it's a history class, so they're studying different cultures and people. So I was thinking about doing QR codes, but I thought it'd be kind of cool to use Erasma so they could scan the artifact they create, and then it'll take them to a video or something that would share
I
more.
think that's really neat. That's a great idea.
Yeah, so it's kind of like an interactive museum, like an interactive group.
Exactly. Yeah, that sounds good.
Awesome. So Erasma, that's iPad and Android, yeah? Cool. Okay, last up we have an Edu Rockstar to share, so Rachel's going to talk about that. Go for it, Rachel.
Okay, get ready for the applause app because I'm actually going to share something that wasn't even in the show notes that I wanted to add as well. So
has our audience out there used the applause app? Because I haven't heard any applause. So Peggy, I want you to applaud us right now, please.
Are we supposed to hear it when it happens, or is that later?
I have no idea. I didn't really research it too well, and I've never had a chance to use it myself, so I'm not really sure what's supposed to happen. But here, just in case we can't hear theirs, I'll use this special effect.
I don't know if I want to hear the audience if it's booze, but here we go. Okay. So actually, I'm going to share something that I did with the fourth graders this past week, and actually it was an idea of Michelle's, and it was a really good idea because she had been working with the fourth grade to research natural disasters, and the kids had been working on a Google Doc to do that and to write a script basically to make a newscast. I'm going to go ahead and screen share while I'm talking. Basically, the kids, though, were researching their natural disaster. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. And they had made a script as if they were playing different roles in that. Maybe they were the scientist or they were the newscaster themselves, or a historian or a victim or a first responder, and all this came from Michelle. And I was going to try to put together the video piece of it. And at first I was, I was dreaming real big, but we're coming down to the end of the quarter, and I wanted to, I wanted to introduce iMovie to the students. But time-wise, it wasn't going to work out. So Michelle said, hey, why don't you try Google Hangouts with them? So I said, okay, that sounds like a more feasible plan with the time limit. Well, here's one of the group's docs. This is a copy of their floods docs, and I just blew up what they had written in Google Docs. This is a collaborative document, and then I put that on the overhead, and it was kind of crazy because let me tell you what I did. I had 4 of my Google accounts pulled up in the same room, and then I basically had each kid come in, and I had put, I changed my icon to make it like a RN icon or Red Cross icon or like Superman for the survivor or whatever. And we went over it a couple times how to do the buttons, and sometimes there was some feedback, but hopefully this will play, and I'm going to show you one of the groups, and then I threw it into a playlist for the teacher. But what I really enjoyed about it was that and versus doing an iMovie, which I still want to teach them, but versus doing that, instead of having to take from the camera and put everything onto the computer and then have them work the iMovie, this was done in one day. 5 groups done in one day, one sitting. So that piece turned out pretty nice. So maybe you guys can hear this. Let me play it for just a couple, maybe a little bit of it. Can you guys hear that?
No, we can't hear it.
You guys can't hear it? Oh, bummer. Okay, I sometimes it works for me in Hangouts and sometimes it doesn't. But here you see the survivor, and over there William and Marissa, that was the hydrologist and the professor at UH. Let me see if I can pull another person in. So, I mean, what I really liked about it is you see down here at the bottom, it actually looked like a real newscast. And here was the RN, so I gave her a little icon. Anyway, I wanted to share that because I thought it turned out super cute, and it was the first time I ever tried doing Hangouts in the same room with several students, all of my different accounts, which probably could be questionable, but definitely I was watching them. And I think what I learned out is I like Google Hangouts for like newscasts or things like this that kids could present on. Why not put them on there? And it was their first experience doing a Hangout too. So all in all, they were jazzed. I was jazzed. It turned out pretty cool, and it was done, all in one, basically in one sitting, 30, 45 minutes with each group. So I thought that was pretty fun and just something new. I know that students are supposed to be getting access to do Hangouts, right? So perhaps in the future this is totally possible and teachers could use it for different things without having to sign into multiple of their own accounts. So I wanted to share that.
Okay, so what you did was you set up a live Hangout, like a live on-air Hangout?
Yes, I did. I was brave and did it. But you know what? I made it. I didn't make it public.
Yeah.
I made it unlisted so that all these kids had permission, but I just went ahead and made it unlisted so that nobody could watch it while we were doing it. I don't know. I felt like that would take a little bit of pressure off the kids when I told them that, because they were like, "We're going to be on YouTube." I said, "Sure, but nobody's going to see it but me." So then when I did the unlisted Hangout, I just shared it with my three other Google accounts that I was using at the time. So the only glitch is when each one of them goes to talk, you're going to see Rachel down here at the in the squares for every single block. But overall, I thought it was really neat. And so I think when students do students already have that potential to do Hangouts without a Google Plus? Is that accurate?
I don't think so, but I'm not sure. Here, I have another question for you too, Rachel. I think Michael stepped away for a second.
Okay.
My question is, if you made the Hangout unlisted at first, are the rest of us still able to watch the video later? So you know how you can have public or private videos later? The Hangout, the live Hangout doesn't affect watching the YouTube video later?
Yeah, no, it doesn't affect it later. So on YouTube, you can set for public, private, or unlisted. If you set it as private and then you try to share the link, nobody's going to be able to watch it. If you set it as unlisted and you share the link, then those people will then be able to watch it, and they also can then share that link on. So it's almost like giving them access to also reshare your video. So for this one, I just set it as unlisted and then shared it with with myself and the teacher for now. And I told her, if she puts it on her website or she shares it with parents, then other people can access. If you make it public, it automatically, I didn't know this. I found this out when I was making a video, but I uploaded something to my YouTube account and I made it public, and it posted on my Google Plus automatically. And then I started getting all these comments about how my house looked, and that was not my intention, because that was when I did a video for our contractors. I did a video for him so he would paint my wall. And I accidentally put it as public because I thought, okay, whatever. And then everyone was watching it. So, I mean, it was fine, but
I think you can turn that feature off where it automatically shares with your social media accounts.
Yeah.
That's like a setting.
Yeah, and then this group over here, where's the volcano? This group actually, even I got them, let me see if it'll load real fast. I got this group, and I know you're not going to be able to hear it, but at the very end, I got them actually navigating screen share, and that was kind of cool. I said, do you think you can handle it, Michaela? And she's like, yeah, and I showed her how. And then here she's going to show a simulation of a volcano. So I thought that was pretty cool to get the children using some more of the buttons, not just the mute microphone button, But then she started screen sharing, so that was pretty neat. And like I said, they caught on pretty quick. I mean, there was a couple glitches where there was sound problems, but I think if they were in different rooms, it's with different people there monitoring the different members of the groups, it'd probably be even easier and go even better. But overall, I just thought it was pretty neat, and the kids thought they were pretty impressed, I think, with themselves. So I thought that was something new that I've never done before, and I like when I try something new. It makes me excited.
I think it's a good first step for them too, because like you said, they just didn't have time to do the whole full body and acting and all the drama that they really had intended to do. Mm-hmm. And Rachel, Peggy's wondering if you could put that link in the show notes, or I know you said you just shared it with the teacher, but what do you think? Are you willing or able to put one of those links in the show notes for people to look at?
I can at least put one of the videos, and I could probably put the whole playlist. I think the whole class has permissions, so I don't mind putting it in the show notes.
Yeah, the whole class does have permission.
But just like I said, I think the main thing, these are fourth graders, and I think the main thing that I noticed was, if we'd had more time or whatnot, is the kids came in with a script that looked, basically to me, looked like a newscast. And two of the groups wanted to do like live performances, and I said, well, are you ready for that? And I said, I don't see that reflected in your script anywhere. They said no. So I said, well, would you like to try this idea? And they went with it. But like with any performance, even this is a great way for a teacher to look at their oral presentation skills. And it's a little bit less pressure on the kids because there was only their group members in there with them at the time. But at the same time, I think that all these would have gone better, with more time to practice the reading, because again, they're still young.
They are, and actually, they had just seen me the day before to write the script, so they were going from one day writing to the next day recording in the Hangout. So I think, they did a pretty good job.
I think they did a great, I had them read through it once or twice with me, and we talked about voice, and honestly, I like to see projects that students made that aren't retouched, because, this is truly them.
That's true. It is.
I think too often we're looking for projects that are perfect, but I think it's more important than even the project is the process it takes for them to get there. So even doing this, they were reading aloud. They were having to look at something from a little bit further away that was blown up, on a screen, as they were looking back and forth between a camera and navigating buttons. So overall, I think they did a great job.
They did, and actually, what the teacher wanted to do with it too is to use these different groups' videos as means to teach each other in the class about them. So, one group was tsunami and one was volcano, and they're going to all learn from each other. So I thought that was kind of neat too. They're actually using the Hangouts that way.
Yeah, this was actually Lillian Todd's class. Let me give her credit because these are her students. And what's funny is, Michelle, I got to go into her classroom the day they debuted the first video, and I went in there, and she had them watch the very first one, and they were doing thinking maps. So they were basically pulling out what was the key pieces of information from the video and putting it in their notes. And I thought that was really clever. So it's kind of how they're reviewing before they take the their final assessment. So she just did a really all total, I think we all work together as, you know, as team members too, to make
Mm-hmm.
a very interesting and something new project. So
Yes.
I wanted to share that. I went too
Thank you.
long on that one. I don't know if anyone else has questions on that, but I told you I wanted to get the applause by pulling something that wasn't in the show notes. But
You win.
I get the applause. Awesome. Okay, so let me share with you someone who's a rock star to follow. I don't know him that well to be calling him a rock star, but I think he's pretty awesome. I started talking to Craig Kemp on Twitter because I'm doing the coding club, and so I read an article of his from Google Plus, and I believe he's a moderator of the EdChat group in Google Plus that I'm in. So I saw his article on him trying to implement coding, basically first grade, I think first grade and up at his school. So I got interested, and I found him on Twitter, and I said, you know, would you be interested in connecting our students? And he said, sure. So his name is Craig Kemp, and you can follow him on Twitter at Mr. Kemp NZ. He's in Singapore right now, but he's from New Zealand. He has a website, and I put all this in the show notes. He has a website right here, and he also does an ed chat that's hashtag What is School. And on his website, you can find the archives of that, as well as some of his other blog posts. On Google Plus, he's right here. And again, I think he's a moderator of that ed chat, is what it says here, ed chat group that I'm in. But he seems like a pretty cool guy, so I just recently connected with him online, and hopefully he can get the kids in Singapore and our coding kids. I'm thinking what we could do is share a project and then maybe have them remix each other's projects. So that's pretty exciting stuff. So if you get a chance, I would follow him, especially if you're interested in coding, because it looks like that's something that he's definitely involved in. So that's who I wanted to share.
Awesome. Edu Rockstar. Thanks for sharing that, Rachel.
Yeah, and actually he's at the Google Teacher Academy this week, or right now, or coming up in Manila. So that's kind of neat.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
There's still kind of a lot of Google Teacher Academies coming up, so folks should apply, Rachel Armstrong. There's one in Austin, Texas.
The last
kind of fun to go to.
academy is in Texas, yeah. December, first week of December, second, third, fourth, I think.
I'm waiting for Cali. Go to California.
That's what I'm waiting for. Yeah, if it were local, it'd be nice. It's a lot more expensive for us to fly out than for people on the mainland to drive. Take an airplane. Okay, I think that ends it for our sharing portion of EdTech Mixed Plate. Just wanted to comment on a couple of what Peggy's got some information to share in the Q&A. She said that she clicked the applause button 3 times. So I guess like us as the hosts of the Hangout, it doesn't really affect us in any way. I guess that's only for the viewers to hear and participate in. And she said it leaves a green marker. Leaves a green marker on the timeline that shows you when you applauded. So I guess it marks some kind of timeline for the viewers. That's pretty interesting. And yeah, and she said the students did an amazing job, Rachel. Can't wait to share that idea. I think that's a really cool idea. And thinking, I was even considering trying a project last year with first graders to have them share the weather forecast for the day or the week via a live hangout and have the rest of the school watch. So that may be something you might want to consider. So taking it the next step and having giving the students an audience as they present makes it more authentic too.
Yeah, they have a lot of fun with that. We did that last year with actually Carrie Harris from the Big Island Mike. Her second graders taught our second graders how to do turtle art and some kind of basic steps to get us started. And then our second graders tried what her kids taught us, and we did a sharing back via another hangout to show what we learned. So that was pretty fun. That was powerful for them. You know, the other thing we did just this year was a second grade teacher modeled how she does Sharpie pointillism, and she also talked to second graders about what pointillism is. via a Google Hangout, and it was a good practice for Dot Day because it was just a Google Hangout kind of within just our school second grade classes. But it was a good stepping stone for the teachers. It was fun. I think Hangouts offers so many possibilities.
Powerful, yeah. Cool. And then Peggy mentioned that there's some great resources on Erasmus via the Two Guys and Some iPads website. She said they don't use it anymore. They're using something called Daiquiri more now, but there's lots of information on the website. So we'll get that link on the show notes under the Erasmus app for our viewers out there. Okay. So that about wraps it up for EdTech Mixplate. I did have one more thing that I wanted to share with everybody for the coming month. I'm going to screen share really quick. No. If I share this, do you see? No, that doesn't work. Wait, yeah. Do you see the show notes?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm not sure if I share that. Okay, so for you, those of you live out there and any future audience members, if you check out tonight's show notes, bit.ly/mixplate25, at the bottom of the show notes is what you see here on the screen. So we just wanted to announce that EdTech Mixplate will be participating in Connected Educator Month starting in October. It's a month-long campaign to get educators connected to the world around them and to network and find ways to learn and grow in their profession, and we're going to participate. So we're planning 4 episodes, so 1 episode every week in October, and there are 7 themes for Connected Educator Month. EdTech Mixplate has chosen 4 of those themes, and we're going to focus each of our episodes in the month of October on one of those 4 themes. So far we've planned the first 2. So next week, October 5th, we're going to have a session on the maker movement, which for Connected Educator Month, and we're going to bring on a guy named Matt Dillon. He is in charge of Elani School's new lower school fab lab for kindergarten through 6th graders. It's a brand new space this year, and I think it's the idea of having these fabrication or maker spaces for for younger students is kind of a new concept, and the school that I work at is exploring that idea and trying to make it happen. So he's going to come on and talk about how it's been this school year getting his fab lab set up and working with kindergarten through 6th graders. And then on October 5th, we're going to focus on the theme of Educator PD. And we're going to bring on a lady named Laurel Oshiro, and she works at a school on Oahu called Sacred Hearts Academy, and she's planned this conference a couple times that she calls I Teach 808, and it's bringing teachers together in Hawaii to learn about different ways to integrate technology in the classroom. And so she's going to come on and talk about her experience in what it's been like for her to plan PD for teachers in Hawaii, and what that whole experience is like to create an opportunity for teachers. And then I think in one of the last 2 Sundays of the month, we're going to do one on blended learning, and then we're still planning our 4th episode. So stay tuned to that. So we're going to have a month-long schedule of EdTech Mixplate episodes, and please participate in Connected Educator Month. There's a link there so you can learn more. There's tons of things happening the entire month of October, so check that out.
And Mike, I think it's okay to say that the other theme that we want to do is leadership.
Oh, yes.
My principal said she would come on. I'm just not sure if the other principals will join her. But she has a really neat opportunity to go visit some schools in California, Nevada, and Canada, actually, and then she's going to come on and share a little bit about what she saw. So that should be a neat experience.
Because one of the themes of Connected Educator Month and the 4th theme that we're going to focus on is leadership for change. Mm-hmm. So how leadership can change school culture and make a difference and try new things. So yeah, we're going to try and get on some administrators to talk about that. Hopefully that'll be a really good show as well.
Yeah, definitely. And
Right.
then, just really quick, I wanted to say that Laurel O'Shearl is a librarian at Sacred Heart, so I want to
Oh,
be
that's
sure
right.
that we give a shout out to librarians. And
Yeah.
remember, too, that something kind of fun kicking off Connected Educator Month is Library 2.0 and that conference that's coming up there. So
Yeah. Is
lots
it
of
next
good
week?
opportunities.
Or is it next week or is it the week after?
No, next week, I think, already.
It is. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's like Thursday, Friday. Is that Wednesday,
Yeah.
Friday, maybe? Or is it
Yeah, gosh. I
maybe it's
should have the date right there. Peggy might tell us. I'm sure Peggy knows. October, gosh, the 2nd, the 5th, the 7th. It's at the very beginning of
yeah.
October.
There's one day for. Is it like Connected Librarians Day?
Yes, where there's a series of set presentations, and then after that, people were able to sign up to present. And I think it's kind of around the clock type of idea.
Yeah. So that's a 2-day Library 2.014 conference. Yeah, and that's through the Learning Revolution. So
Right.
check it out next week.
Yeah.
So that'll
Yeah.
be a great kickoff to Connected Educator Month.
Hmm.
All right. But that's all we have for you guys tonight. Thanks for joining us. We had 4 viewers with us, and of course, there's always Peggy. We really appreciate her
Yeah.
watching and participating in the discussion. And we'll see you guys next Sunday for our first Connected Educator Month themed episode. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night.